Do you wish there was an easy way to track the value of your Pokemon card collection over time? A system that lets you quickly look up sales data for individual cards, track custom portfolios, and easily reference population reports and sales volume over time? Well, there is, and it's one of my favorite tools as a Pokemon card collector. Today, we'll be talking about pokedata IO and how I use it as both a collector and as a seller. But first, let's roll the intro. Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you all that the classics never go out of style. For those of you new to my channel, I'm an avid Pokemon collector with several top-ranked vintage sets in the PSA set registry. I also run an eBay store and regularly produce market analysis videos here on my channel. To do any of these things successfully, however, requires careful research, tracking card prices, market trends, and population data. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this, and generally, the more experience you get in the market, the easier it gets. But there are some helpful tools out there, including sold listing archives from auction houses like eBay, Fanatics, Golden Auctions, and Heritage Auctions. There are also some great websites out there like PokemonPrice.com and TCGFish.com that allow users to quickly look up consolidated sales data for individual graded cards. I featured both of these sites on my channel before, and I still regularly cross-reference with them when researching card prices. However, my favorite tool in 2024 has been pokedata IO. Now, for full disclosure, I'm not affiliated with pokedata, nor am I being paid for reviewing or promoting their site. I was given free access to test out various features of the site and given permission to include screenshots in my bi-weekly auction recap videos. Objectivity is important to me, and my goal here is to highlight the strengths as well as some of the shortcomings so you can decide if this tool is right for you. Anyway, let's take a closer look at some of the features that pokedata has to offer. Pokedata.io offers 3 service levels, including a free service and 2 paid tiers of subscription services, Gold at $6 per month and the Platinum level at $20 per month. Now, the free service is pretty robust, giving users the ability to look up sales data for PSA and CGC graded cards and view the current population reports. It also has the option to toggle to raw sales data, which is something most sites outside of TCG Player really don't offer. Of course, raw cards vary immensely in condition, so it's important to reference the sold listings and not just the price charts. In fact, let's take a closer look at the user interface. The top half of the page provides a snapshot of useful information, including the current average price of the card on eBay, TCG Player, and in each PSA and CGC grade. It also provides a quick population reference right below each grade. As we'll see later, the population history is only available in the Gold and Platinum subscription levels, but it allows users to track changes in populations over time. Anyway, the second half of the page features a graph of price history, which can be filtered by condition, and a table of past sales data, including links to the original sold eBay listings. Now, the price graphs seem to update with averages of each day's sales, so it's sometimes susceptible to outliers or misscraped data points. Having the auction information compiled below, though, is helpful for identifying flawed data, and there's even a flag icon to report incorrect sales. For example, I was searching first edition base set Charizards in PSA 9 and noticed the price fell off a cliff, dropping from over $20,000 to $3,699 back in June. Looking at the sales history, the problem was immediately obvious. A pair of PSA 1 sales were incorrectly included in the data. I've only experienced this issue with a handful of cards, and it seems to primarily affect obscure vintage cards with extremely low sales volume. For example, several of the first edition PSA 10 Neo Destiny Holos had incorrectly scraped data from entirely different Pokemon. However, other PSA 10 Holos from the same set seem to be just fine. I actually put together portfolios of multiple Wizards of the Coast sets, and all of the others were completely fine, but this is something to keep in mind. The other caveat is that the free version of pokedata will only offer 6 months of sales data. If you want to go back further and see how these cards have performed historically over the years, you'll need either the Gold or Platinum subscriptions. The Platinum service also has a sales volume option to assess the frequency of sales for any given card. These are all great features, but what makes pokedata.io truly unique is the ability to put together a collection portfolio that automatically tracks valuations, and that feature is available even with the free level. The portfolio feature on pokedata allows collectors to customize their own collection by adding different items to their portfolio. To do this, you simply click the Add to Portfolio button and specify the quantity, the condition, the purchase price, and the purchase date. You can also use the current market price or backtrack through historical sales and approximate a market value if you never actually purchased the card and just want to track its theoretical value over time. Each item is added to your collection portfolio and can be quickly assessed with a market value graph and a total cost tracker. It'll show you the fluctuation in value over time, along with the current market value and a quick profit and loss calculation up in the top corner. For example, right now you're looking at a portfolio of first edition Fossil Hollows in PSA 10. As you can see, I started tracking these cards on June 16th, 2024, when they were collectively valued at $21,272.57. Since then, they've appreciated to $21,976.62, a total increase of $704.05. You can also see a couple large movements in the market value on July 21st and August 17th, both of which correspond to a low Dragonite sale, temporarily bringing the value down before rebounding with another higher sale. It's really not a perfect system, especially for cards with infrequent sales volume, but it tends to balance out over time. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this feature is the price tracking of individual items inside the portfolio. Below the graph is an itemized list of cards or sealed products with the current valuations and their change in price since the time of purchase. It automatically arranges them from most expensive to least expensive, but you can easily filter and rearrange these to your liking. Clicking on one of the images will also provide more context, including a complete sales graph going all the way back to 2017. Frankly, this is the best setup I've seen for tracking a collection. Having the big picture with the whole collection and its individual items without having to individually search each item or navigate to different pages is really, really convenient. After some experimenting in the settings, I've also found that you can set the profit and loss to be measured in dollars or as a percentage, which is also a really neat feature. Now, the free version of pokedata allows users to maintain one collection portfolio, while the Gold subscription allows up to 4 portfolios, and the Platinum subscription allows for an unlimited amount of portfolios. In testing this feature out, I created a bunch of different portfolios based on different areas of the market. For example, I have this portfolio that I named Modern Full Arts for tracking PSA 10 prices of some of the more iconic English full art cards. As you can see, most of the 15 cards on this list have been struggling a bit since mid-June when I first started tracking them. A few, like the Espeon VMAX, Gengar VMAX, and Blaziken VMAX, all dropping by more than 15%, while the Mewtwo GX, Latias and Latios GX, and Mew EX have all increased in value. For all the sealed investors out there, I also created a portfolio of Sword and Shield booster boxes. Now, I don't own any of these boxes, but I entered hypothetical purchase prices for 6 boxes of each of these 6 sets shortly after their initial releases. By the time the last hypothetical purchase was made in September of 2023, the total cost of these 36 boxes was $4,254, with a total value of $6,512. Currently, the total value is $9,742, a profit of about $5,488. Down below, we have the current market value of each individual booster box and the total profit for each one. Keep in mind the quantity is set to 6 of each of these boxes, so the profit per box would require dividing the totals in the parentheses by 6. Just like the full art cards we looked at earlier, you can click on any of these boxes for a detailed price chart and analysis of each individual one. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, I collect vintage holo sets, so I've also created a few collection portfolios for different Wizards of the Coast sets. For example, there's this one with the 15 fossil set holos in first edition PSA 10. Most of the fossil holos have been doing well lately, and the whole set appreciated $704 since I started tracking it. It should probably be more than that, but the most recent Dragonite sale was considerably lower than many of the other recent sales, bringing the total average down about $1,200. I also put together this portfolio with the 20 holos from the first edition Gym Challenge set in PSA 10 condition. The Gym holos are up about 4%, or about $1,000 since mid-June, with the Blaine's Charizard and Blaine's Arcanine appreciating the most. Finally, I put together a Neo Shining Master Set portfolio featuring the 2 Shining cards from Neo Revelation, and the 8 Shining cards from Neo Destiny. This portfolio includes a first edition copy and an unlimited copy of each card in PSA 10 condition. Unlike the other 2 sets, this one is down about $1,695, and I suspect this is due to the Charizard. I used the market prices in mid-June when I started tracking these, and that one seemed to be a bit artificially high due to a single sale for $14,940, when most of the other corresponding sales were between $10,000 and $12,000. Nevertheless, this is an amazing set, and I'm really just 1 or 2 cards away from completing the whole thing in PSA 10 condition. So, is pokedata right for you? If you're a collector and investor, having up-to-date, easily accessible data is half the battle, and this is a resource that I find myself referencing regularly. The free account is perfect for those out there that want a quick snapshot of market prices in the last 6 months, or have a modest collection of cards they want to track over time. And for those that want to build and customize multiple different portfolios and cross-reference long-term price trends and population data, then the gold and the platinum options are ready and waiting. Again, I've used and still cross-reference different websites for sales information, but pokedata is my favorite for these reasons. It's intuitive and efficient, with all of the information for a card on the same page. It tracks items other websites generally don't, like raw cards and sealed products. Finally, it has a robust portfolio builder that is easy to edit and to navigate. I'm sure there are other features that I haven't fully explored yet, but this is what I've found most useful so far. Of course, there are also a few considerations. First, the features are only as good as the data it scrapes, and in some situations, there are faulty data points. While these aren't common and generally relegated to niche items that have lower sales volume, a few bad data points can distort your portfolio valuations immensely. It also seems to scrape data exclusively from eBay, limiting the data pool for items in its inventory. I suspect this is due to auction houses having restrictions on their sales data, which is why I still reference those other sites when doing my research. Anyway, guys, if pokedata.io seems like something you'd be interested in trying, I'll go ahead and leave a link for it down in the description below. But like I said, it's a site that I find very useful as both a collector as well as a seller. And if you guys have any other tools or websites that you think would be useful, definitely share them with me, because I'm always looking at ways to streamline my collecting research as well as making videos. Anyway, guys, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you all that the classics never go out of style. We'll see you all with the next video. Till then, stay well, have fun, and don't forget to enjoy collecting. We'll see you all with the next one. Bye, everybody.